Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering into the recording of What's Good America with the dynamic duo Batman and Superman, Chicago and Jacksonville, Florida. Stand up. Is What's Good America. We back, folks, and I still ain't got a shirt on. If you ain't feeling it, that's your own fault. I've been working out. It's hot boy summer. You know what it is. So if you don't like it, go talk to your mama about it. She know me. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, let me bring it back. That's a whole different episode. We back. All right, we back to back. You feel what I'm saying? It's the good guys. Who else did you expect to see? The sun's still out. Wakanda is still forever. Rest in peace, Chadwick. We still, hey, it's always that's always gonna be love. But we back. What did you expect to happen? We got time. I got time today. All right, we gonna bring it to you the only way we know how to bring it. Like I said, I got a bunch of ignorance stored up, and I got to give it to them. All right. I ain't had nobody to talk to. I didn't have an outlet to give this ignorance to. But now that he back, a happily married man with a tungsten black gold ring on, you feel what I'm saying? We here. I am C. Turner, aka Chocolate Pudding, aka Colton Thorsby, aka the Prime Minister of Duval County. All right. I like the way that sounds, like the Prime Minister, because nobody really knows what a Prime Minister does. So, like, I could be an official, but nobody knows what I do. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, like, do you know what a prime minister does?
I don't know, man, but they got a lot of power over there overseas, man. The Prime Minister of Britain, I feel like, has more say than even the Queen.
Exactly, but you don't really know what he does. So I like the title. Mm-hmm. But back to it. My right-hand man on my left-hand side, but still my left-hand man on my right-hand side. The luscious beard growing, gainfully employed, seasoned married man, Mr. 401k, Mr. Touchdown himself, James Madison, Big Game, Walton III. You know, Jim's favorite son. What's going on, baby?
Hey, thank God he ain't have two of them joints, because I don't know. I wouldn't be the favorite. I came through there, I did my thing, but I messed it up. So I mean, that if I'd had a little brother for real, he'd have took my thunder. Like, oh, so that's where you messed up at. Okay, I'm gonna do this a little bit different. I like that pour right there. What's good, America, man? Look here, we're starting to get in the groove, man. Got to shout out the missus. She's in there. You know what I'm saying? Handling what she's handling. It just feels good to talk over a nice drip. And we here, man. And we're only here for one reason. Okay.
Oh, we classy tonight.
I mean, shout out Kirkland. Let's just go ahead and do it right now. Well, actually, before we shout out Kirkland, as always, we want to shout out our official sponsor, Rebel Coffee.
The best coffee in the game, baby.
And if y'all ain't messing with Rebel Coffee, we got two words for you.
You're lucky my ankle hurt, because I'll stand up and tell you to suck it.
That's just how we feel, man. So shout out to Rebel Coffee. Once again, you'll keep hitting it until I get a chance to get over there in September. Appreciate you guys. Can't wait to meet you. Now, our unofficial sponsor, as you saw, Chris Turner pouring that delicious Kirkland Moscato. Shout out Kirkland. Let me tell you something, Costco. Don't act like we won't start tagging you and stuff now, too.
In everything.
Chris Turner done figured out how to do reels on Instagram. I enjoyed every second of that.
It's a wrap, buddy.
Oh, we tagging all y'all. And Root Out Whiskey, as soon as we get through this, I'm coming. I'm buying my bottle so we can start tagging you in episodes. It's coming. We coming, man. We'll let you guys know we're going to monopolize this. I mean, we talking about merch. You know, we've had some conversations about some things. You know, like there's some things coming. We're going to make sure we're doing right by our fans, because I know we got people out there that want to help us do what we got to do. So we're going to make sure we're doing what we do, Chris.
That's a
Let's
fact.
go ahead and just get right into it, man. We were going to talk about this last night. But we wanted to make sure before we said anything for what happened. But I mean, we got to talk about it, Chris. So I mean, I want you to kind of frame it how you framed it, because I mean, obviously I haven't, like today is my normal What's Good America. I didn't watch any pundits today, nothing. This is coming straight from us kind of figuring out topics and things we wanted to talk about. So then you frame it, man, and I'll tell you what I've been thinking about.
Go ahead.
So we were talking yesterday But well, we came to it today, and Chris was like, "Well, we need to figure out, you know, did Chris Paul choke, or is Giannis Antetokounmpo really a superstar?" And the way the Game 6 played out in itself, Chris Paul did his thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the best game he played, though. After Game 2,
Yeah.
the best game. He didn't have a very good series.
No, not at all.
And the thing I respect about Chris Paul is you didn't hear any excuses.
Nope.
Obviously, Scott Foster, every time Scott Foster referees this dude's games, man,
Yeah.
knew that those were going to be L's, and they had him in Game 4. But I really want to give credit where credit is due. And I was thinking about this before we came on, and what Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think, means to sports.
That's good.
I was trying to just come up with a list, Chris, in my head. I wouldn't say it's factual, but what Giannis really kind of represents to sports and what we've seen, specifically in the NBA. So to me, what he accomplished last night is things we haven't seen since Jordan in 91.
Yeah.
Isaiah in 89. I think you're going to start to catch where I'm going at here and why it's so special what happened. Magic in 80, Larry Bird in 81, Kareem in 71, obviously, Bill Russell in the 50s, Willis Reed and Clyde Frazier in 1970 when they broke through. That's the type of company I think he's keeping. And of course, Dirk Nowitzki in 2011 in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
This is some rarefied air this guy's in.
Damn, that's good.
I believe that. I'm gonna have to make sure I do that.
This ain't even a shameless plug. Bro, you need to go get some. This Kirkland brand Moscato is all right. That's not even shameless. This shit's actually good.
Hey, I made my decision. The vodka's got to last me for a few weeks. We got to get these bills paid. I get gas money. That's all I get. I know how much going. America, y'all know who runs my house. Hey, look here. Listen, man. Look here. It ain't no thing to me, Chris. They already knew. I was telling them for the last year, but it's me. Everybody knows who runs this goddamn house. I'm not ashamed to say it out loud. Y'all thought I was gonna change because I got her to barely say I do at my ceremony. No, man. This is how it is. So, I can't wait to try that Moscato. This might be, August 21st before I do it. Unless Costco comes through with a sponsorship. But look, man, Giannis Antetokounmpo really represented, and really, if you look at the conference finals of both sides, it really it had such an old school feeling because you had these teams where, some trades have happened here. There, Drew Holiday's not an original Buck. Chris Paul's not an original Sun. Clint Capella's not an original Hawk. So you had these things happening, but you had so much homegrown, young talent with every team. Whether you're talking about Atlanta, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and who did Phoenix beat? The Clippers. No, so the Clippers, you got to throw them out because that was
that's
traded talent, right?
Created team,
But 3 out of the 4 teams, Chris Middleton basically was a G League guy, and Milwaukee got him, right?
Yep.
Giannis, we know. Trae Young, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, all those young guys that were playing in there, they were all drafted by them.
Right.
Then, who am I missing? Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton. Those are
homegrown.
They groomed those guys. And that's what we're all used to kind of seeing and being around growing up in the 80s and 90s. When the Houston Rockets broke through, Hakeem Olajuwon got drafted before Michael Jordan. I mean, the entire 90s decade is dominated by the year of 1984.
Yeah.
When you look at it, an 84 guy won every championship until Michael Jordan retired. And then David Robinson got it in 99 as the oldest guy and elder statesman on that team.
Right.
So really, really special what he did. I mean, the dude put up 50. And if you can't read, if you're not looking at the names, because Chris inspires me that he's still in chocolate pudding mode. I don't even know if you read. I changed it while we started.
I just saw it. You ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
The dude went like 20 for like, I had to go pull the exact number. He missed 2 free throws the entire night. He was like 20 out of 22, which to me says all it needs to say, Chris. Is he a superstar? He already was a superstar. Yeah. Now he's a legend.
I like where you came from, and you've changed my mind a little bit, which is rare because I'm the type of person that I'll be wrong and be glad to be wrong. But where I come from with this, to hit the CP3 thing, at the end of the day, he's 36, 37. Like, he ran out of gas. All right. It is what it is. Like, he ran out of gas. Did he choke? For a point guard that's not score first, no, he didn't choke. He didn't perform to the best of his abilities. He ran out of gas. You can say that. But for a point, he's not a Russell Westbrook point guard. Like, he's not the shoot first point. Like, he's the old school traditional Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton point guard where I get dimes, but I'll get buckets if there's nobody else open or
he's
if I
the
see.
Last. It's a dying breed. Like he and Rajon Rondo are really the last of that style of point guard. Like, it's gone.
Yeah.
There is.
Because the closest thing to that type of point guard right now is Kyrie, but Kyrie will still get you 30 or 40.
No, Kyrie is not even in that ballpark. Kyrie is a part of this generation.
But I'm saying
he just can't jump like him.
That's the closest thing you're going to get. Because if you look, and maybe even John Wall, but John Wall's even a score first guy.
John Wall's the same way.
So
those guys are all athletes. You know
he's
who Kyrie
the last
is?
of that. Who you got?
You know who Kyrie is to me? Kyrie is a prettier looking Allen Iverson.
True.
I mean, he plays just like Isaiah to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Isaiah, but the thing is, Isaiah led the NBA in assists too.
Yeah.
Like Isaiah, Isaiah could have averaged 30 for his career if he wanted to. He was on pace to do that, but he was like, nah, let me go,
I'm
go
gonna dime it out.
Help. Go give me some help and I'll get buckets when we need buckets,
So that's what I'm saying. With Chris Paul, like he didn't choke. He did run out of gas though. Like he didn't play well. He ran out of gas. Booker got his buckets. Don't get me wrong. I've always been big on DeAndre Ayton, like since he came out of college, because he reminds me so much of Patrick Ewing that it's ridiculous. From the way he looks to the way he plays.
That's a good comparison. That's a good one.
And it's a high comparison at that, mind you, because P. Ewing is not somebody that gets compared to lightly. I like this Suns team. I like the future that I think they're one piece away. And I think it's probably even just a 6-man, not even a starter. It's probably just a 6-man away.
Like Chris Paul's probably the most intriguing free agent now that he's going to opt out. Because is he going to opt out? And you know what? They know it too. Like, they just needed one more guy. And I don't really know what it was. I just give Giannis all the credit in the world because, one, he deserves it. 2, he's a good dude.
I agree.
We were watching the end of it last night, and you weren't going to be mad if that went to Game 7. You weren't it was nice to watch an NBA Finals where you weren't going to be mad with whoever won it because God bless the Phoenix Suns. I mean, that's a fun little fan base. Like, they, good for them. Like, they're relevant again. They've been relevant in since Steve Nash. I don't want to say since Barkley, but the Nash years is the last time they've had any
kind of buzz.
Those were good basketball teams with Steve Nash and
Stoudemire.
And Milwaukee, for crying out loud, they've been knocking
for years
on this door. And what it does, I think, with them breaking through and the way Toronto broke through, it kind of breaks that whole the East is easy type thing to me when they beat the West because of LeBron leaving. Like there's this whole thing about, obviously because LeBron, he had a stranglehold.
Yeah,
on the Eastern Conference. He was in the finals. What, 8 straight years? I mean, that's phenomenal. Go ahead. But that's just for our fans that aren't watching. They just listen to us on the Anchor app. Spotify.
I see what you did there.
Oh yeah, shout out Spotify. But so that's where I'm at with it, Chris.
Well, let me piss you off then. Let me piss you off because you made a bunch of good points.
More basketball, but I'm going to give it to Giannis because the dude's a 2-time MVP and a defensive player of the year. Now he's got the championship. He's at the epitome of how I feel. I mean, like, he's basically song 6 on Kanye West's graduation album. You know what song that is.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, I was going to sing it. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Go.
With everything that we talk about, somehow, some way, it either comes back to you or it comes back to Chicago. One way or another. Like, how?
Well, Chris, I mean, all you got to do is do your research. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always us. What do you want me to do? Good or bad, we're here. Come on now.
Bang, bang.
Might be the case. Might be the case, but I mean, if we want to do the history, you could only go to 2 places. You went to New York or Chicago if you was black. It always comes back to Chicago.
Yeah, you got a point.
I mean, so
let me piss you off real quick. Let me get this. And I think it's so. I know, and it's my goal to bring you down. So, and we'll kind of wrap the finals up with this. You made some good points, like you had a good team in the with the Suns. I'm sorry, which bring the Sonics back, please, because that market needs a team. You had a good team. You had a good team with the Suns. A bunch of likable guys. You had the Greek Freak. Honestly, is probably one of the nicest people in the world. Like top 10, like right behind the Pope and Mother Teresa and all. Like you got the Greek Freak, like just approachable and lovable. For God's sake, the man was in the Chick-fil-A line with the Larry O'Brien trophy, letting fans touch it. Like that's wild.
Hey, Chris, this dude turned down South Beach to stay in Milwaukee.
That's all
you need to know about it.
Like the man said, I was supposed to be in Vegas this morning, but I stayed here because I wanted to go to Chick-fil-A with all my fans and friends. Anyway, so you got the Greek Freak. You got the Lopez. They got the brothers, or they just got one?
Just Robin was with them last year, so Robin missed out.
That's right. So you got Lopez, which, once again, another top 10 nice guy. Middleton, nice guy. Like, all these guys. I say Drew that Holiday, to say this.
I want to bring this about Drew Holiday. I told Callie this last night because she wouldn't know. But Drew Holiday, you talk about one of the, like, it's not even nice, but he might be like the dude.
Yeah.
America, I don't know if you remember this, but Drew Holiday actually sat out an entire season. His wife, who's one of the greatest U.S. soccer players of all time, had brain cancer. And Drew Holiday put his career aside
to be with his wife.
There's probably no bigger or better man in the NBA than Drew Holiday to make sure his wife got back to health. Sacrificed contract money, all that. And for him to win a championship in his first year, like they traded for him to bring him there.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there when you're naming all these nice guys before you start pissing me off, quote unquote.
So to name all these nice guys and like the coaching tree over there in Phoenix where Monty and Chris and all that good stuff, and then you got a Greg Popovich disciple over here in Milwaukee where they could possibly kind of be the next Spurs of old because that's how they're kind of built. I could have did without these finals. Like, there was no, I need a villain. Like, you need somebody to hate. Like, nobody goes to see a movie full of a bunch of good guys and then like, oh, well, the good guys won. That's awesome. Like, you need somebody to hate. And LeBron being in the finals for 8, 9, 10 years, whatever, it gave you somebody to hate. The Pistons, when they made it, for God's sakes, their name was the Bad Boys. They gave you somebody to hate. When Jordan beat the Suns, they had Barkley. I'm not your role model. I'm not here to raise your kids. You had somebody to hate. When the Dallas Mavericks had to play against the Heat, my co-host here, for example, likes LeBron James, but because he chose to go to South Beach, hated LeBron James for a couple of years. Like, you need someone to hate. And the fact that there was no villain, the fact that there was nobody to root against because you wanted Chris Paul to get a championship so he could be like his homeboy. You didn't mind the Greek Freak getting his championship because, God, he's so nice. You wanted Devin Booker to take that step and get the championship because he's kind of in that Kobe-esque type mentality.
He's the closest thing I've seen to him. He's just not
wanted
quite
Middleton.
there yet.
You wanted Middleton. You wanted Booker. You wanted Holiday because all these guys are grinders. You didn't mind who won. You didn't mind who lost. And that fucking sucks because I need somebody to root against. Like, I need, like, oh, AD won, even though he only played like 20 games and he always hurt. Oh, LeBron won again. Oh, Steph Curry is pulling up. Like, you need, and quiet is kept. A lot of people are turning on Steph Curry. Like, it's sad, but I don't know why. Like, he's a nice guy, but you need a villain. Like, the Warriors, when everybody liked Steph Curry and Klay, they had Draymond, and you hate Draymond. Like, you need that villain. And the fact that there was nobody. Like, that's kind of why I want the Clippers to make it, because you might like Kawhi, you might like PG, but not too many people like Rondo. So you need that villain. And that's why I found the finals to be, like, they were good, but I wasn't tuning in as soon as for the jump ball to happen because, like, oh, I'll just catch the last quarter and I'll be good. You, sir.
Well, if that was going to piss me off, that was an utter fail. I thought that's a nice critique.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And I think I had talked to you about this. I don't know if I said it on the air or off the air, but I like what you did there to why it didn't happen. And I think I would be remiss if I didn't repeat myself with this. See, there comes these times, in any league, right, where a great Goliath meets his end. And when that happens, there's a hazy space. So think about the finals after Michael Jordan retired in 1998.
Yeah.
Who were the two teams? First of all, they had a lockout, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But then, who played in that finals that year? And if you don't remember, that's what you got me for.
Was that the Magic and Rockets year? Who was that?
Well, that was 94, 95.
That's right. That was the gap. That was that gap year. That's right.
So in 99, the finals was the San Antonio Spurs versus the New York Knicks. So you had older Patrick Ewing and you had older David Robinson and you had very baby Tim Duncan.
But
who was the villain in that?
The Knicks. The Knicks are all pre-now Knicks. The Knicks have always, up until like 2005, the Knicks have been the villain.
How were they the villain in 1999? Patrick Ewing had been in the NBA for 15 years by that point.
Yeah.
David Robinson had been in the NBA for 11, 12 years. You had two of the greats.
In comparison, like you asked me out of the two.
I'm just telling you, nobody cared who won that finals. You were going to be good if David got his first ring, or if Patrick on his second try got over the hump because, Allen Houston or whoever was on that team,
Yep.
Got him there. So
didn't that team have Spreewell on it too?
Yeah, I think Spreewell was on that team.
So there's another villain on that team, even though he was right for choking out.
Yeah, but by then it wasn't even about him choking him at that point.
No.
I mean, Latrell was making wheels by that point. Shout out to Spreewell.
You saw what and one that made them look stupid ass.
Hey, Chris.
No, it wasn't and one. It was.
Hey, Chris. We had a play in college and the tag was Spreewell for the wheel. That's how old we are.
Jeez, that's saying something, buddy. That's saying something.
Seriously, I think it was 7. I think it was 7. I think the goal. What was the post? Yeah, the post was the 8. So it was 7. I think it was 6. Somewhere in there, we had like double posts. So like the outside, and then it was like tag Spreewell. So the 7 might have been the protection. The 88s were the post because the 9 was a go for me in college, and the Spreewell was the tag, and that shit worked like gangbusters.
Well, it should because it should work.
So shout out Latrell Spreewell. Latrell Spreewell, you didn't know this, and I know you didn't care, but you were a tagged round at a 2-9 Division II football team.
I wasn't gonna say anything about that.
I'm gonna say it. I'm always gonna listen. If I'm gonna talk about myself here on this show, I'm gonna shit on myself at the same time. I did not have a good college career record-wise. It was not a good look, and I can always talk about that. So Chris. I get that, but that's what the NBA actually needed that. Because if you don't have a villain and you don't know what's going on, but you do love the game, and the villain is vanquished, you're going to go, well, maybe I'll find somebody new to hate. Maybe I don't like the way Giannis plays the game. Maybe I don't like the way Devin Booker is doing too much Kobe. I've never liked small point guards. So why would I like Chris Paul now? It gives people a chance to kind of develop their narrative.
Gotcha.
And to me, what happened is what I told you. When LeBron lost in the first round, which I predicted was going to happen, ask Uncle Julian. I knew they weren't getting out of there because I was like, nah, it wasn't there. And I just think LeBron has moved on. He's a billionaire. He's about to be a billionaire. He's done his time. He has done some great things. He's now going to go ahead and look out for us. And I think he's ready to be an actor and an activist. And good for him. Yeah. I think he's going to stay and make his $33 million. I think he's going to play with Bronny. But the championship window for him, I think, is gone because Phoenix took away the fear. Nobody's scared of him anymore. Once they don't fear you, nobody gives a shit.
Exactly.
It's all in sports. Look what happened. Like we've seen it to all the greatest. We just talked about McGregor the other night. Look about Anderson Silva. I mean, that was just little guys. I mean, think about when Ali lost his invincibility. Mike Tyson lost his invincibility. Michael Jordan lost his, but he got his back.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was crazy. That's
not even going to give me a minute. But when they want to talk about GOAT status, that's what GOAT status is when you show we can get them, and then you come back and it's like, nah, I think that was a fluke. Nobody ever talks about that, Chris. I think we just solved the GOAT question and why he's the GOAT. You did beat him, but then he came back and did the same shit he did. He's like, all right, give me a whole summer.
I got your ass, yeah.
So I think that's what happened with the NBA. And I think I said this too. You have new stars now. And there comes a point when you can't depend on a guy that's played in the NBA for 19 years. But you got new stars. People are looking at Giannis Antetokounmpo a different way now.
Yeah.
Especially that game. That's probably top 10 greatest NBA performances of all time. Automatically. He had 50 and shot 90% from the foul line when that's all he's been criticized on.
You know what that tells me though?
Chris, hold on, before you go, hold on to that. They interviewed Drew Holiday because obviously he was a big part of it. Did you see Drew Holiday's stat line in that game?
No.
Drew Holiday was 4 of 19, bro. 4 of 19. So they needed every free throw Giannis made to win that game. That's what makes that, dude. I mean, it was either going to be you're going to be the LeBron that had 15 a loss, or you're going to be the guy that had 15 to win the finals.
Yeah, the team's on your back.
That's great. That's great company to be in. Go ahead, Chris.
What that reminds me of, and then we'll hop on to something else just to recap everything we kind of missed out on. What that makes me think is that Ben Simmons is going to have to get traded.
Ben Simmons. He's letting me down.
Here's why. Because you had the Greek Freak who was knew that he struggled with free throws. He took all 10, 15 seconds, airballed a couple. Like that was the catalyst that made him we don't really know about him. And then it wasn't like he magically got better. You can tell okay, I'm struggling with free throws. So let me take 10, 15 more after the game. Let me during these little walkthroughs we're doing, let me just focus on free throws. I know the plays. I know. So this shows during the season, during the finals of all times, he knew what the problem was. He had to fix it. And he fixed it good enough where it wasn't, he fixed it. God forbid, if Shaq would have been 19 for 21 or 20 for 22, Shaq could have averaged 60 points a game if he wanted to.
Shaquille O'Neal would be the GOAT. If Shaquille O'Neal shot, forget that. If Shaq shot 70% from the foul line for his career, Shaquille O'Neal would be the GOAT.
Untouchable.
That's coming from me. He would have been the greatest player to ever play.
Not greatest center.
The greatest player. He'd have the scored record. Shaq would have scored 45,000 points.
But I just say all that to say that, dude, Ben Simmons, it's you don't have an excuse, bro.
Ben Simmons can be a give me a minute. He could be a whole give me a minute.
You don't have an excuse.
I want to let you move on because we're actually doing pretty good on time. I just want to let you move on, but I want to say this about Giannis and what I hope it does with him being 26 years old. And I think Devin Booker being 24, 25. Let me tell you something. Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the most gifted athletes in the history of sports. Mm-hmm. To be that tall and be that coordinated, but he still goes and he works on his game every day. So the message to me is, kids, you got two choices. I think it's a beautiful thing to want. Who do you want to be? You want to be Ben Simmons?
Or you want to be Giannis?
Or you want to be Giannis?
So so hop off of it real quick. Really random. Did you know Tom Brady played all last season with a torn MCL apparently?
I did know that.
What the fuck?
And that's actually a perfect segue. I was talking to Coach O about some stuff, and I'm not going to put it all on blast.
Right.
Because that's just my guy. But I will say this about the nuanced athlete of today. That shit is gone. That just natural ability, if I can move and they can shoot it or I can numb the pain, and if I can do me and move, I'm going to move, and I'm not going to tell a soul. I mean, I think you knew this by end, but I played on a torn groin for 2 years in Billings.
Dude.
I had groin tears for 2 years.
Not to get anybody in trouble. Matter of fact, I always tell it myself on the show when it comes to college anyway. So to get myself in trouble. And I'm going to ask you this, then I'll run with it for a second and I'll hand it back. Mm-hmm. Did you ever take the magic shot in college?
No, I never got that hurt to get to that point. I was blessed. So okay. I never had to get it. But trust me, my status was high enough, they would have had that shit ready. I had earned the right to get that shot. I just God bless me, I never had to deal with that.
And don't get me wrong, the magic shot, and for anybody who's ever played sports, like you know what the magic shot is. I took the magic shot about 5, maybe 6 times in college. Granted, that's probably what's wrong with my ass now, but there was times where I'm gonna limp into the trainer's office like, yo, my knee is tore up, but I'm going to play. So you know what to do. You sit down on the table, you get your knee rubbed off, and you get that shot. And then you're good as gold to play. I got it done several times. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Now, granted, it's wrong. You got to know your body. But at the same time, what Walt was getting to is that type of player is now done. Because now every athlete is worried about not this play, not this game, but they're always worried about the next game. This motherfucker. So now.
Laughing at me because I'm getting nice.
Yes, I am.
Hey, listen, man, we're having a great conversation here.
So now every athlete now is worried about the next play and not the game that's at hand. So everything's I'm worried about the next check. I'm worried about the next quarter. I'm worried about the next this, that, and the third. And nobody cares about right now. That athlete, and God forbid, I'm not putting myself on the same strategy. That's why I'm not even in the same state as Tom. Well, I actually am in the same state as Tom Brady right now. Unless he went back to Florida, but he was in Montana for not too long. Anyway,
I think they might have opened camp.
They're in camp. Yeah, camp open today. So I'm not putting myself in the same boat as Tom Brady. I'm not. But what I will say, the athlete that's willing to do whatever it takes to win, excuse the way this sounds, but the last athlete really to do that died in a helicopter crash not too long ago.
It's not that. I'm actually gonna amend it. We saw it. We saw 2 superstars, in my opinion, do it in this finals. Giannis' knee was jacked up.
True.
I didn't see the brace until like game 4 or 5. He just had it really covered up. He was braced up. Like he's gonna probably need surgery.
Yeah, he'll get something mended in there. Yeah.
And Chris Paul, COVID.
He's the last of that breed. Yeah.
Wrist, shoulder, and got to the finals.
That shoulder was screwed up. Yeah.
And he did everything he could. He didn't make any excuses about it. He just tried to. He sat out when he could sit out, and he played when he could play. So I mean, that's what I'm saying about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like I give Joel Embiid a lot of credit. Joel Embiid was playing on torn meniscus. Yeah. And he fought through it. Like, so he's got, like, there's some guy, Trae Young was a meme with his shoulder. So there's certain guys that have that. And you saw the success that their teams had. Nobody, if you would have asked anybody if Phoenix and Atlanta would have had a shot in 7 games to play in the NBA Finals, they'd have been like, get the fuck out of my face. Sorry.
No.
41 minutes in, it's pretty good. So you're right, Chris. And, we're talking about it like it's a different generation. Like, I watched you get carted off a field in a championship game.
Yeah.
I watched EB get carted off in a championship game because, like, his spleen was like exploded in his body.
Lacerated is the word you're looking for.
He tried to play, and he had to sit down, and they had to take him. These are 2 guys that didn't even get to come celebrate the championships. They're in hospitals. Like, that's hurt. Like this, listen, man, like, I don't know, man. I had a great conversation with old man. I was very appreciative of the type of players that I played with and the era that I learned how to be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, because it just mattered. And I think it all ties back to Giannis. I think Giannis showed you why he's a superstar. Because it would have taken his knee to be torn up
for him not to play. Because if he doesn't play, it's not competitive.
I give James Harden a lot of credit for what he did with that hamstring. Like he gets credit for that to me. So they exist. They're there. You just don't see enough of it. You know, to me, and I just, we're praising the wrong things, but I think Giannis really has an opportunity to be a great narrative in sports.
Very true.
That, talent can take you so far, and it took him so far, but you know why he probably only missed 2 free throws? Because like you said, Chris, that dude probably every time he didn't shoot what he thought he should shot for the foul line, he probably was going back to a gym at some point, whether it was after the game or late in the morning, because that's what Kobe would do.
Yep.
Kobe was notorious for that. If he shot bad, he would shoot for an hour in that gym until he felt good, and then he would hold up buses. So there is a generation of that's here, and I think that's what the NBA has going for him. I mean, Kobe is their GOAT, and there's nothing wrong with that guy being their GOAT.
Nothing at all, dude. Nothing at all. Like we're to the point now where these guys know who Jordan is. They're not dumb. They're students of the game. They know who Jordan is. But the person that they know and that's more relatable to them is Kobe. Yeah. Like they can't say LeBron because they're still playing against him.
Yep.
But they know Kobe. Like they know Mamba. Like they know what he was doing for the WNBA. They know what he was doing for world basketball. Like they know what he was doing. So like these guys, like they know Kobe. But to get back to Tommy Terrific.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I took it all.
Yeah,
Tom.
We do that. But to get back to Tom, I'm not a Tom Brady fan. And it's no disrespect to Tom. Like I like my Dolphins. And you would think because, okay, he moved out of your division to a whole different conference and everything else. Then he moves to my damn state. So now we're no longer even the best team in the state now because the Jaguars suck. And then the Bucks were just okay. And then this asshole wanted to restructure contracts and bring guys in. And
I'm to piss you off.
Go ahead, please.
Since Dan Marino retired, when were you ever the best team in the state?
I'm glad you asked. So, since Dan Marino retired.
Pick the years.
Since Dan Marino retired. The Jaguars start falling off around 2018. That's when they start falling off. The Bucks had Mr. 30 for 30. So they were the laughing stock of the NFC South. Us going 7-9, 8-8 at that time gave us the best record in the state of Florida. Please.
How many conference championship games did Miami play in after Dan Marino retired?
That would be 0.
How many conference championship games did Jaguar play in since Dan Marino retired?
Oh, no. 2.
How many conference championship games has Tampa Bay been in since Dan Marino retired?
That's why I brought up the strict years that I brought up. That small little window is what I brought up. I didn't go the full landscape. I went a small window.
I know your full window is last year.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, drink some more of that. Like, stop it. You're not going to sit here and disrespect what these other teams have done. That they all have more. They have more playoff appearances. All of them have more playoff appearances than Miami's had in the last 23 years. 22 years. Stop.
Well, we're better than the Jaguars now.
Stop that shit now.
We're second right now. We're second in the state. Jaguars suck.
Do you have the better uniform color combination?
By far. Now, I will say.
Except when Tampa Bay bust out the creamsicles.
I was just about to say, if they break out the creamsicles, it's a wrap.
Creamsicles win.
It's a wrap.
Hey,
those might arguably
Them shits was so ugly when we were growing up. Like you just didn't realize how pretty that shit was going to be. Like that shit.
It's perfect, dude. Like that uniform is perfect as an adult. Like it's great.
Them and you know the other one too, man. That Houston Oilers baby blue. The hashtag the Warren Moon. Hashtag the Earl Campbell. Like those to me with the white pants, you just like, yo, that shit looks, it just looked like Easter Sunday.
Yeah, I'm so glad the NFL is bringing back the ability to wear like the throwback uniforms now, because call it the Sigma love or whatever, but like the Colts throwback uniform where like it's all blue, but it just has like the white stripes on the shoulder. It's so clean. It's so clean.
All of them, man. I love all them old uniforms, man. The old 80s Jets uniform, like the Altoon, Gastineau joint.
I like the red Falcons jersey.
Yeah, the red, like early Dion years.
Yeah,
that was what they wore through all there. Like, dude, if I was Tennessee, I'd be wearing that. I'd be wearing that Houston Oilers joint.
Yeah.
You know, like theirs is dope. Oh man, who else has got it's a different throwback, but I love it. Like I wanted the Seahawks to go back to their old like
you have to.
Jim Zorn, Steve Largent with the silver, like the Bosworth joints when he got ran over.
You got to.
That shit is dope. Like there's a few of them where you like, man, that shit is good, bro.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
There's a few of them where you like that, man. So I mean, look, man, Tom Brady playing with a torn ligament in his knee does not surprise me. That's why I give him all the credit in the world. I mean, he made sure he gave himself every opportunity to win. Why do you think he fought so hard for Antonio Brown? He's like, look, his knee's holding up. We doing all right. We doing good. Like, I'm good. All I want to do is hand the ball off.
That's it.
Keep a clean pocket and protect myself. And that's what they did for him every game that year. And here's the scary part. So you're telling me he played that well on a busted knee?
And now he's healthy.
The hell you think he's going to do this year?
And the whole team comes back?
Come on, man. Like, this is what I'm saying. So I think it brings it full circle, Chris, because here you are. You had a finals where you had basically no villains, and I think that was a great assessment you made. And it's the highest ratings they've had in quite a while. Like, people tuned in, and it was a good series.
Yeah.
6 games out of it.
No routes.
Tears. You know, you had some emotion. You had some controversy. Beautiful. Now we're back to a league where it just depends on what your cup of tea of hate is. I mean, Tom Brady, I think, to me, it's a reformed love for what he's doing. I think Tom Brady is more loved now than he ever has been in his life.
I agree.
And here you got this young, up and starting dude that's making $45 million a year. I mean, he technically comes from money.
His brother is a TikTok asshole.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, his brother's a TikTok asshole. Like he's.
Wait, are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not on TikTok. I'm an adult. I have a 401k.
Wow.
No.
I just trying to figure out how you know his brother's on TikTok. I didn't know he had a brother.
So his brother's this. Oh, I'm not going. All right. So I saw it on ESPN. Like, yeah, but his brother is in the suites or whatever, while the other brother's throwing touchdowns. It's just like dancing to memes and shit like that, and just like, dude, we get it. Okay, your brother's one of the greatest athletes in the world right now, greatest quarterbacks. You're probably not going to have to do anything for the rest of your life because you seem worthless at this point. But like all he's doing is like dancing during a game in the suite. Mind you, there's 50 other thousand people who was in the damn cold who paid their salary for that damn ticket. And your dumb ass up there dancing TikTok videos. Sorry, that might have should have been my give me a minute, but I'm sorry.
That would have been a good one. I think you got another one queued up. So,
God.
I mean, I reason why I don't want to go all the way on Tom Brady, man, is because, dude, we're getting to the sweet part of what this show is based off of, us having very different opinions throughout the football season, whether it be
Very
college
much
or
so.
pro.
Very much so.
I think Tom Brady is why he is. He's the greatest of his
He's
era.
the GOAT.
There's no doubt about it. The greatest of all time. Like I've always said, he'll never be the greatest of all time. In my book. And why I mean greatest of all time, I mean pure football player. Is Tom Brady the greatest winner of all time? Yes. Nobody will touch 7 Super Bowls, possibly 8. I'm terrified of this team.
As well, you should.
Them in Kansas City, it's a problem. The only team, I hate liking things you love. The only team that can throw a monkey wrench in this whole thing is Tennessee. They're so balanced. If they can decently play some defense, and I'm talking like Indianapolis Colts when Peyton Manning was in his prime with them defense. Tennessee's too balanced, dude. Listen, if I had a fantasy draft right now, I would just draft the entire Tennessee Titans offense.
Listen, the Tennessee Crimson Tide will be there in the end. Let's just call it what it is.
Dude, you listen. If you don't get a Nelly split Derrick Henry, Julio Jones jersey, I'm gonna be so disappointed in you.
Oh God!
I'm gonna keep bringing this shit up until you do it.
I mean, if you think about it, like we are kind of running the league right now because the Denver Crimson Tide has Judy and PS2. So like we got some guys, the Miami Crimson Tide. We got the Philadelphia Crimson Tide. We're everywhere, baby.
Can I help you with this? Don't worry about them other motherfucking teams. You need to just stay focused on Tennessee. They can actually win something. Doesn't matter if you got a shutdown corner and a stud wide receiver. If you can't get the ball to your receiver.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback. They don't.
And we don't know how healthy Jalen Waddle really is.
We don't.
I mean, he should be 100%. It's an ankle, but come on, man.
He didn't run yeah, you got a point. Wrapping all of it up. Let's get into Give Me a Minute because we have decent time right now. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
Well, I feel like I'm going to go second because I feel like there's a reason why I think I'm going to be able to prompt our next show, depending on. Okay. Well, it depends on what you say. You might change my Give Me a Minute, but I'm going to.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to try to give me a minute into our next show.
All right, so I'm not going to be an asshole on this one. This one, I'm gonna be a decent person on this one. America is the fact that you had to do that.
That's it.
It's still so good. America, give me a minute. I am a father. I got 2 girls. One's 19, one's 10. I'm a black father. I don't know if you can see that. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and on Facebook and everything else, I'm a black father. So the fact that there are now siblings over the last 2 years who have won the NBA championship like that, as a father, like that's big. Yeah. Because you had 2 of the Antetokounmpos, I think I said it right, win it this year. And then I think the youngest one is the one who won it last year.
Yeah, he's in LA, yeah.
And here's the funniest thing about it. And this is how I want to commend the parents. The first call he made was to the other 2. And there was no, oh man, we're going to get you next year or you didn't deserve it. They were literally crying as soon as they answered the phone because they were so proud. And now I go around and say the Ball family. Yes, I am one of the first people who has talked shit about LeVar Ball. I can commend this man as a father. Yes, his tactics are a little wild, but at the same time, if you come from the area that we all kind of come from, that's what dads are like. And to have 2 out of 3 sons in the league, but to have all 3 of them in at least at one time, that's commendable. The holidays. God, it's a couple of them.
All 3 of them. It's Drew, Justin, and Aaron.
So you got the holidays. Like it's
and they all went to UCLA, bro. Like that's the thing. Like they went to UCLA is a very good school, period, outside of sports. The very good academic school.
So as a father, to see families like doing like the most, and there's no sibling rivalry, there's no controversy, there's no anything except love. That shit is beautiful, because to see it, to change the narrative of how we are looked at as African Americans, as Black people, because at the end of the day, yes, he is the Greek freak, but at the end of the day, the Jay-Z song, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay, you're black. Like you're black. To see Black people changing the narrative of family, that shit does my heart so good. So I say all that to say, Greek freak, holidays, ball, like I commend you, like I salute you as a father. I will take my hat off, but I ain't shaved in like 2 or 3 days, so you see like the George Jefferson going on. But
that's what my hat has been on.
So I salute you guys. Congratulations to the Antetokounmpo family for going back to back. America, that's been my minute.
Man, that was pretty good, man. I'm kind of glad you went the way you went, because I can still do the give me a minute that I had in my head. So this is perfect. So here we go. America. That sip of Kirkland vodka and 7-Up was brought to you by Rebel Coffee. When you need to get a jolt in the morning, reach out to Rebel Coffee.
Are you seriously cutting the promo right now?
I just cut one. I figured you'd be proud of me right there.
I'm very, very much so.
Hey, here we go, America. Here's the bottom line and how I feel about the way this next episode is going to go. We've kind of did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We traded some barbs, but I think it's just time. Chris, you know what I did today just randomly?
Oh God, what?
When I was at work. Like I was like, you know what? I got my little auxiliary cord in there. Like I'm back in my groove, so I can listen to my music while I'm in between stops or whatever. You know, free to lay in this. I'm at 110% right now on the week. Like I'm over here just I'm just busting ass because I'm broke, right? So like I need to hit every commission thing possible. Like I'm gonna really need this check to be big, you know, to do some things, right? So, you know, I don't know, a song just pops in my head, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to my Spotify, shout out Spotify, and I type in the Neptunes. And you just keep hitting these songs, and you hear this sound, and then it's songs you didn't even know that they did, and you hear a song, you're like, man, this is so cold. So the reason why I'm gonna go ahead and prompt the next episode is, I can't wait for you to have your list of why the 90s was so terrible. Because I'm going to tell you right now, America, I want you to look me dead in my beady little, very dark brown eyes with a little bit of vodka in them. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what he says about it. I will always be able to explain why it was dope and it's greater. Let me tell you something. This playlist was shuffling from P. Diddy albums to Britney Spears to Gwen Stefani to Billy's Most Wanted to the Clips to Slim Thug to Scarface to Faith Evans to Lil Bow Wow when he was 13 featuring Mario when he was 16 to Ray J before Kim Kardashian. I mean, I could just keep going. 702. Come on, man. That's just one set of producers. So all I'm saying to you, chocolate pudding, I may not know much, but I know one thing. The music of our era always wins. No matter how you feel about these lyrics, it just wins. You know why? America, our music's like Giannis Antetokounmpo at the free throw line in Game 7. It was 90% good. America, that's been my minute.
There will be a 90s.
I told you I was gonna set up the 90s. Like it's
There will
time for
be
a
a
90s series
90s.
episode.
There will be a 90s episode very soon. Very soon.
I mean, the Kelly Kapowski shirt hasn't made an appearance in a while. Like I figured I would have had a Topanga by now, but you know, I'm broke.
They're actually hard to come by. Like they're usually only at Target. Anyway,
I got to get me a Topanga shirt. I need a Boy Meets World shirt. I need to get me an Urkel shirt. Like I got to expand my horizons a little bit.
did you know Urkel sells weed now?
Yeah, with Snoop. I ain't seen all of it, but good for Jaleel White.
Purple Urkel. Anyway, with all that being said, the 90s episode is coming here soon. We got a couple guests and we got queued up. We still got, for the life of it, we got Dallas Leslie still coming back because he has some shit on his chest he want to get off.
We got an Olympic episode coming. We're gonna be able to put you guys in the mind of an Olympian, one of my old teammates, one of my favorite guys. I got to cue him up. America, we're just gonna have content like crazy. I mean, this is a beautiful place to be in right now. That, you know, when I'm the one that's saying, "Hey, Chris, let's do it another day," then I'll let you know how real it is. Because normally I'm like, "Chris, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, look, dude, wait till you get married and have a kid, and then ask me what's up." So I'm halfway in. We in it, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to get the other half, you know what I'm saying, rolling right now, percolating. So.
Oh
but
my God.
We're here.
Anyway, so we got all this content coming from you. Just make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Andre, we still got you prompted up. I talked to you last night. We got a couple NBA guys on my side that I've been talking to. We got you guys prompted up. Whenever we get time, we'll slide you in.
Dixon's coming.
We got the Chris Dixon episode, which
Coach O's coming.
The Dixon episode should be hilarious.
Yeah, Juan Edwards is coming back. He's been wanting to get back. We just got to get it lined up.
We have the new athletic director of Montana State University prompted up. We have reality show guests and everything. So we got content coming.
Yeah, we got content. We just got to get it, man. Hey, you know what I'm actually excited about? I thought about this too. So we get out of here because I know I start to ramble. Once I see it's over an hour, I just start to ramble. But you know what I'm actually excited to do? Like we're going to have an opportunity. It's going to be the first time that I can think of in a long time that me, you, Bays, Coach O, and it just depends because I know Chris is in between Phoenix. And it could be the first time the five of us are all in a room together. Like we just might have to set up multiple Zoom angle cameras and get it from all sides.
That's true. That's very true.
Labor Day weekend. So that might be something to look forward to. And this might be an Outlaw Memories in honor of the Outlaws coming back. You know, that might have to get a Q Breckenridge appearance. You know, we might have to find.
Hey, Anthony Bonner now lives in Billings, Montana. So
back.
Like all right. So
it could just be a true Outlaw show. We're rambling, America, but now I didn't open my mouth, and now I've got to make sure I make this happen Labor Day weekend. So way to go, me. Good job. You know.
So with all that being said,
I think. And wait, is Robert Reed? Robert in Billings too?
Probably is.
So I mean, like it could be a legit. We could just have a ball, and it could be just a straight up Outlaw. That might be a Facebook Live show.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go. Yeah.
So, I mean, that'd be something to throw together and put under our banner because, I mean, if they're going to come back, I mean, I know T Salt's there. There's a lot of guys.
King Salt, you get it together, dude. King
Salter, Nolan Fisher's there. I mean, we got a lot of guys. That'd be a hell of a fun time if everybody. Like I love everybody. I know a lot of people don't like me, but I love everybody. Without y'all, I'm not married, so I'm good with it.
Everybody love everybody. With all that being said, shout out to Kirkland, Shopco, shout out to Rebel Coffee, 9 Round Fitness, Root Out Whiskey, we still coming, Screwball Whiskey, we still love you. Beats by Dre, the people who made this hat, everybody. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. That's Big Game James. I'm Chocolate Pudding. And at the end of the day, the Bears still got Justin Fields to lead them to 2 wins. So the same question that I asked you is the same question I'm going to ask you again tonight, Walt. And what is that?
I have to smile and say, what's good, America?
What's good, America?